Hi there and welcome to Oxford Street. Today, during the daylight, we're going for a tour of West Mayfair, and we start our tour here, right on Oxford Street at Bond Street Tube Station. So it's a great easy one if you want to get up here. And we're going to take a tour, but it's going to be West Mayfair, because if we go any further than West Mayfair, that includes quite a bit. So, let's go. Just in case you're thinking, where's that music coming from? Oh, there you go. I'm okay for trainers at the moment, although after this walk, I might not be. We start our walk by going down Davies Street. Now, as we go down Davies Street, right opposite us is Gray's. Now, Gray's is an antique dealers. In Gray's, you've got stores both up on the first and also the basement floors, where you can get all different sorts of antiques. Now, the one thing to know about here is, if you've seen our channel, we've talked about the River Tyburn before. The River Tyburn is a river which goes under London and has been boxed in for hundreds of years. And actually, underneath here, we know the Tyburn goes, because at one point they had it uncovered and you could actually see it. As you go down Davies Street, just behind Oxford Street, you can see lots of building taking place. Our trip today around Mayfair will take in some of the beautiful places you may recognise from our previous videos. I thought, let's do it all in one go. So down Davies Street, you've got quite a collection of different things, believe it or not. There's a carpet shop and a rug shop, and previous to that you had an art gallery. Right, here is the world famous Claridge's Hotel. So it's just off Oxford Street, so if you're thinking about coming down and staying in London, you could probably get a lot cheaper places. Check out our video of Mayfair at Christmas, because you'll see the tree that they had in there, which last year was designed by Dior. We're now on Brook Street, and if you look, that is the Argentinian embassy here in London. And around here is also known as sort of an embassy village, because we're about to come to Grosvenor Square, which at one point, before it moved to Victoria, was the home of the American embassy. The American embassy moved out to Victoria and left behind it a massive building site, and they're putting very exclusive apartments in that. If you like Grosvenor Square, we've already got a video on our channel about that, and loads of the history, a lot of it American history, connected with Grosvenor Square. One of the places I pointed out, I'm just going to point out again, because this quite often gets missed, especially by Americans coming over to London, and it's worth just taking a small detour. Right, as you can see, the sun is on Grosvenor Square, and here is just what I want to show you before we go round Grosvenor Square. It's here that John Adams, the first American minister to Great Britain in May 1785, lived. And he became the second president of the United States of America. It was also here that his daughter Abigail was married to Colonel William Stephen Smith, first Secretary of the Legation and officer in the Revolutionary Army on Washington's staff. Now, let's give you a view of the building in which he lived. And it's that one right there on the corner with the postbox. Yes, the nice London red postbox. And all the Belisha beacons, etc. So that's on the corner of Grosvenor Square and Duke Street. So if you're coming to London, that's where you want to look for. It is going to be public. That is a restaurant in London, which is well and truly done up. It's a beautiful winter's day we're filming this. And whilst it's cold, the sun is beautiful and bright over there. But hey, right, the construction work that you can see over the cars, and you can see the big crane, is where the American embassy was situated. So they will eventually become very expensive apartments here overlooking Grosvenor Square. And Grosvenor Square is the second largest square in London. There's lots of squares. We're going to visit 3 of those today in central London. But they're great places if you want a bit of peace and quiet to go into and relax. Unless of course you get a sports car like that. Right, across London, lots and lots of blue packs. We're going to point those out as we go. And here we go. Aircraft designer and manufacturer lived here in flat 3, Sir Frederick Handley Page, between 1885 and 1962. What I'll do is just give you a view of Grosvenor Square itself. Let's go into the garden area, just show you how big and how fantastic it is. I will put a link to the video up in the top right hand corner of our trip to Grosvenor Square. Well, they're certainly getting on with those apartments, and it's being done by the Qataris over here and building. A lot of London is actually Qatari backed. Beautiful green space in the middle of London. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. London has got so much greenery. And those flats are quite incredible. Have a guess how much one of those flats might cost. I'll put it on the text below. Right, let's just point something else out for you. Over there, just behind the trees, that white building, used to be what was called the Millennium Hotel. And the Millennium Hotel is where, in the early 2000s, Russian spies killed someone who defected away from Russia and poisoned him with high-grade uranium. And it was in that hotel that it happened. Always something interesting in London. Okay, you should be able to hear me much better now because I've put a microphone on. Yes, this is our first time doing one of these walks, so learning as we're going along. Hopefully you'll find the sound is a lot better. If so, just let me know in the comments down below before we do another one. And by the way, I'd just like to say a massive thank you for the comments which suggested that we do some of these walks. So we thought, why not? Okay, So what we're going to do now is walk down to Park Lane. This we're going past is Upper Brook Street, and as you can see, lots and lots of construction happening in the houses and the offices in central London. Always something going on. One of the great things about London is they've got mews sort of tucked away. Let's show you one of those. Now, this is Shepherd's Place. It was originally a mews. And what a mews was, it was a place where they used to store the horses in stables for the very well off, and also where their carriage people lived. But let's just give you an example. As I said, this is Shepherd's Place. It's tucked away. As you can see, it's not open to road traffic at all. And wow, look at that. That's very ornate on the outside. If we come round here, look at these places. Fantastic. Central London, between Oxford Street and Park Lane, is where we are. Now that's going to cost you a bit of money to either buy, and I would hate to think how much it would be on a monthly basis to rent. Okay, I spot another blue plaque. So, let's go over and have a look. Now, this is the Greek Embassy. Here, I said it was an Embassy Corner. And the Greek ambassador and poet and a Nobel laureate lived here 1957 to 1962. Well lit up. George Sepharis. If we have anyone Greek watching the channel, please do correct me. I do like to know how to say people's names. And how about some of these properties? Novel place, the old rectory. Okay, we can turn down Upper Brook Street. Taking life into my own hands here as I carry on walking down the road. Is that my imagination, or was he coming for me? Right. Some interesting buildings down here. More offices. Oh, I spot another plaque. Oh, there we go. Leo Bon, who lived here, who founded what is now known as the Royal National Institute of the Deaf in this building on the 9th of June 1911. I'd just like to add, if you hear the screeching of brakes and all of a sudden we lose camera, that's because I've probably been hit. But actually, I'm going to be very, very careful. If you love London, how about that? A whole raft of taxis. These taxis are all pulling off Park Lane and taking a right turn as you go up Park Lane. And off in the distance, we can see Hyde Park, which is now coming up. Now, if you're not resident in London, you might be thinking, what are those white C's on the red background doing? Well, that marks the start of the congestion zone. So if you're driving up to London, you have to pay a fee for driving in London for the day. Once upon a time, it was from 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. But following COVID, the Mayor of London has decided he needs more money. So it's now 24 hours a day, and it used to be Monday to Friday, but it's now every single day of the week, apart from Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So if you drive up on those days, you can avoid the congestion charge. Oh, and it's £15 for cars per day to drive in London. That's without parking. Right, just want to bring you to here, which is the Animals in War Memorial here at Hyde Park. Monument dedicated to all the animals that served and died alongside British and Allied forces in wars and campaigns throughout time. And I love that little bit there, which is they had no choice. So a nice memorial here by Hyde Park. Okay, so this is Park Lane. If you listen to our podcasts, which you can get on your favourite podcast provider, any one of them, we covered Park Lane not long ago. And Park Lane is a very expensive place to buy a property. As you can see, you've got Aston Martin garage over there. Let's have a quick look. Fancy having a look at an Aston Martin? Why not? That's what it's all about. Yeah, look at that. Interesting. There are no prices on the cars or in the window. I suppose if you're coming for an Aston Martin, price isn't too much of an issue, is it? And there's the DB11, as used in James Bond films. Fantastic. Right, let's continue our walk, and we're going to go down Park Lane for a little bit. So we're going to get the background noise of the traffic. And this is what you would call the edge of Mayfair. Park Lane is definitely part of it, but it's at the border. Let's just take you down here. This is Culross Street. And we'll have a look in just 1 second. We'll continue our trip down, but marks the edge of the congestion zone, so we're back in here. But it's a sort of another muse that I want to show you, but this one is a more classic muse. We're going to have a look, hopefully a couple more a little bit later. And isn't it reassuring, wherever you are on the planet, there's always a DHL van nearby. How about this for houses? Look at that. And that would have been used as a warehouse at some point, because if you look at the top there, I'll just zoom in above that top, you can see there's a gable hanging where they would have used that as a storehouse or warehouse, put things onto a pulley out of the top for storage or into there, and then bought it down. Fantastic. Great thing about London is you just need to take a walk around, but also look up, because if you look up, it's amazing what you see. Okay, let's continue our journey. Let's get back onto Park Lane. We have another plaque which is visible here. And this one is Sir Moses Montefiore, 1784 to 1885, philanthropist and a Jewish leader who lived there for 60 years in that building. Wow, I've got to say, that is quite some building. I love the sort of private driveway, where space is a major issue in central London, as you can see. That's not bad. Oh, look at that one. Nothing like a private number plate of a very nice car. Okay. And that was an Aston Martin. But I'm sure you knew that already. So you've got Hyde Park on the other side of the road, which is sort of a triple carriageway on both sides. They've taken down Winter Wonderland. So we're filming in mid-January, and this is the Grosvenor Hotel with its ballroom, very posh. Starbucks. I wonder how much a Starbucks in there costs. Wouldn't have thought it'd be normal Starbucks prices. But this is the JW Marriott Grosvenor House London Hotel. With its ballroom, they have quite a few bashes in there as well, big celebrity bashes during the course of the year. And there's a couple of what they call 6-star hotels down here on Park Lane. This is the first of them that we're going to show you. And then you've got the Grosvenor House Suites up there. Don't look much from the outside, do they? Well, I'm guessing the view over Hyde Park will be phenomenal, as will the cost. Okay, we're now going to go down Mount Street. You don't see many of these in central London either. A petrol station to fill up your Ferrari. Places here. to give you an idea of some of the houses or flats or apartments as they would be over here in Mayfair.
Like all of the streets.
Here we have another blue plaque. Not an official one because it hasn't got English heritage on it, but it's been placed up there. Jack Buchanan, actor, manager, 1890 to 1957, lived here. Right, let's have a look at a few of the shops. This is the reason for coming down Mount Street. Purdy Accessories. Established in 1814, from the very beginning, Purdy has served one purpose: to create the best shotguns, rifles and shooting accessories. There we are. And Purdy supplied the munitions, knives and guns to Charles Darwin, who travelled from London with Captain Fitzroy to buy equipment for his expedition on HMS Beagle. And if you want to go hunting, that's what you can look like, with a big bag. Sort of camouflagey. Okay. Look down. Always interesting to see what you can see as you're walking along the London streets. Watchmaking, Beaumont, Bremont even. A private club, Harry's Bar. So it's private or smoke lower windows. Right. As you can see, private number plates galore. Harry's Club. And this is tucked away. And this is a bit of a find. So here we have a public library from 1894, still used as a public library now. But then we go in and we have Mount Street Gardens. So if you're thinking of coming here, it's open different times. Just check online. Just Google Mount Street Gardens. But how about this? Unbelievably, it's early January, and I think the trees may be a little bit confused because we've got some very early blossom on them. Look at some of these places that overlook. Go for a little stroll around the gardens. That is a palm tree. if you do come to London, whatever you do, get yourself on Google Maps. Just have a look where you are, because you won't find yourself that far from green space. And it's worth just checking it out. I wonder if that's still working. Looks like it is actually. Water fountain still operating in central London. Let's go around this way, out the sun. No, not working that side. Maybe it is working the other side. No. There we go. The fountain was erected by Henry Lofts in recognition of many happy years in Mount Street. Someone has a water problem. And it's amazing because some of the things that are just tucked away that you wouldn't find. Like this church. Farm Street. Right, let's get a bit of history of Mount Street Gardens. It's the former burial ground of the parish of St George's, Hanover Square. It was first laid out as a public garden in 1889 to 1890 on the site of a former burial ground belonging to the parish of St George, Hanover Square. Mount Street takes its name from Mount Field, which included Oliver's Mount, the remains of fortifications erected during the English Civil War. So you have got history going back quite some time here. But once again, it's one of those places that people will just, well, not even know is here, let alone just walk through it without realising. Okay. So that's Mount Street Gardens. Opposite Mount Street Gardens, you can see the flags outside. You have the Connaught Hotel, which is very nice. But before we go there, let's just go for a little walk down Mount Street and see some of the shops. Because I know you love guys, love seeing some of the things that are on offer. Handbags, fluffy handbags. Oh, cigar shop. Cool, you can smell the cigars. I think someone in there is trying them. Private jewellers. Lovely, so I was having a little sing-song. This is Christian Louboutin. Malone. Fancy eating outside? Quite a few people are by the looks of it. Scots. Right, let's go over and have a look in the windows over there. I think the cars probably give you an idea of what's going on down here. Yes, we're definitely in Mayfair. Private shopping experience downstairs. Certainly Mount Street is a place to come if you like your fashionable shopping, expensive shopping, or sitting outside and having your food. That was a bit of a find, wasn't it? That's Mount Street. Just off Park Lane. Runs parallel with Oxford Street and Piccadilly, about halfway between the two. Back to the cigars. Okay, looks like they're taking down the lights from the tree outside the Connaught from Christmas. But something else has just caught my eye, which I haven't seen before. Love doing this. Neon lights. Now, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner for here because you can see that you've got all these lights. Actually, it's a fountain and it steams up about every 20 minutes. So I'll keep an eye on it just in case we can catch it. But if not, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner so you can see that. And it just produces steam every so often and it becomes a big fog under the tree. That's what I wanted to have a look at. Jessica McCormack. And that's Grosvenor Square, just past the traffic lights down there. So we've done a big loop. Also, I want to stay on wide angle so you can see these properties because these do date back. Oh, wow, don't they look fantastic? Now, that's not something you see every day. People queuing outside Goyard of Paris. Looks like it's luggage. See if we can have a quick look in the window. Certainly not going in there. Right. Luxury items, luxury goods, Goyard. And they're queuing outside. Must be a January sale on. No, somehow they have January sales. Oh, you want to see something here. Ladies who watch this channel, if you can see through the lights. Anyone for Diamante shoes? Mind you, knowing the area we're in, this is Gina. I wonder if they're real. No, they can't be real diamonds. Imagine. Right. Roxanda. Yep, for your skin treatment. Don't worry, mine's far beyond that. go. The lady has officially said that is proper sequins. Very nice. So that was Mount Street. You come off Mount Street, you're back on Davies Street, which is where we started, funnily enough, by a new Bond Street. And as we now hit Berkeley Square. If you're thinking I recognise that name, that's because we put a few videos up during the course of Christmas on Annabelle's nightclub, which is on Berkeley Square. But let's give you a quick walk round before we wrap up this video, because have we got some car showrooms for you. Now let's just give you a quick view across Berkeley Square. Sam 570F. Definitely a private number plate. Sorry, I just thought I'd quick whiz round so you could see what that noise was. Got a Ferrari garage over there and a Bentley garage. We're going to have a look in the windows in just one second. And the good thing about Barclay Square, if you want to get here, is it runs just behind New and Old Bond Street, which we'll cover in another video because we're going to go window shopping down there very soon. And just let us know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. I know a few people are, especially after seeing some of the Christmas lights and some of the things in the window there. So we're going to do some window shopping down there. So we're just not far from there. So it's quite easy to pop into Berkeley Square. Oh, I can see another blue plaque on the other side of the road. Interestingly, nothing on the front of Annabelle's. Taken down their gingerbread house, which is this Christmas. And that blue plaque there, Clive of India, 1725 to 1774. Solder and administrator lived there. And that house next door, with a flashing light at the front, is Annabelle's private club. Berkeley Square itself, this is Berkeley Square Gardens, which once again is open, but it's open different times, and times change as we go through the seasons, get more light, and it stays open later. But they were first enclosed here in 1747 while the square was being built. Originally, the gardens formed a lush water meadow on a bend of the River Tyburn. We mentioned the Tyburn earlier. And as late as 1753, the Tyburn stream, then referred to in the vestry minutes as the common sewer, still ran open at the south end of the square. And there you go. The land was subject to an agreement between the 4th Lord at Barclay, his son, and 2 carpenters who developed the square. The garden then was comprised of about 3.5 acres, enclosed from the streets on the south and west side by a dwarf wall and wooden railings. There we go. And in the summer, this is a great place to come. There's a Starbucks around the corner, or there's a Pret a Manger also across the square, so you can get a reasonably priced coffee. Well, reasonable for London. And you can come over here and relax and watch the world go by, or mainly drive by in their expensive cars. Now, let's go over to the other side of the square, where we find Jack Barclay, which is a renowned Bentley dealer, so you can get your Bentley, and also H.R. Owen, the Ferrari dealer. Right. Tell you what, let's start with the Ferrari. Looks like someone's just walked in there as well to pick up a Ferrari. Wow, look at that. Just to let you know, that red one is at £239,162. Yeah. Okay, so we go from Ferraris. That's interesting, someone just walked in off the street. And then Bentleys. Okay, so this Bentley we're looking at here is for £229,719. Just gives you an idea. By the way, all these places are by appointment only, which is good because actually we're just window shopping, thankfully. I haven't got my credit card with me today. This one, the Bentley Continental GTC 2021, is £214,990. There you go, give them 215 grand, they'll give you a tenner change. And if you fancy a Bentley trike, now that's a novelty, 425 quid. It's the 6-in-1 trike which transforms with a stroller into a tricycle for young Bentley enthusiasts. Yeah. And basically it's available in spruce, which is green, onyx, black, dragon red and fuchsia pink, as well as sequin blue. Right, so we'll look at a couple more and we'll turn around the price on that one. Right. And that is only 146,990 quid. Bargain! So, we have brought you part of West Mayfair. There is so much more to bring you at another time, including Curzon Street, some of the mews behind sort of Annabelle's and the buildings over there on the other side of Berkeley Square, and also Shepherd's Market, which is also a beautiful place here in Mayfair. So as we head back into the gardens, at Berkeley Square, I hope you've enjoyed our video. A massive thanks for joining us for my walk around of West Mayfair. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Do let us know in the comments down below. You want to see some more of these tours around? The idea is we can do them at daylight, we can do them in the evening, and we can do them in the morning as well. So just let us know what you think in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for us. It helps us to share the videos with others so they can love London as well. And thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you soon on the next video. Bye.